Greetings everyone, I hope I find you well. I believe by now almost every one of us is managed to get into the account, that is the Skillsbox account. If you have managed to log into your account, and those who have got laptops have actually managed to configure their devices to be able to work with Skillsbox. However, if you have not yet managed to get your device configured, or you've not managed to log into your account, or you still don't have an account, please don't hesitate to come to the Faculty of Computer Engineering, Informatics and Communications. We'll be able to assist you. You can also make use of the video that I previously posted, which showed you how to configure your machine to be able to work with Skillsbox. That includes installation of the plugins and activation of your ICDL account. So today we want to look at one of the modules on the ICDL curriculum. Remember, I said we are going to cover 4 modules. That is Computer and Online Essentials, we have spreadsheets, we have presentations, and we have word processing. The title of this module is called Computer and Online Essentials. So upon completion of this module, we want you to be able to understand key concepts and carry out key activities relating to hardware and software. You should be able to manage files and folders, store data, and manage applications on a Windows computer. Remember, we will be using Windows 10, but Windows 10 is not very different from other versions of Windows. So if you master this concept in Windows 10, you will surely be able to use them in other versions of Windows like Windows 7, 8, and even Windows 11. You should be able to understand network concepts and connect to a network, find and manage online information effectively and manage browser settings, understand considerations related to the effective use of common communication tools. You should be able to send, receive, and manage emails, as well as being able to schedule tasks using calendars. You should be able to understand potential threats and ways to protect computers, devices, data, and yourselves when you are using computers, especially if you are using your computer online. I want you to be able to recognize considerations relating to safety, well-being, accessibility, and the environment. So this module consists of 20 lessons. Some of these lessons are theoretical in nature, whilst others are practical in nature. So I want to dwell much on the practical lessons. Then I'll just do a run over of the theoretical components of this module, because I understand for the theoretical components there are notes which are provided by ICDL on the Skillsbox platform. These notes are well explained, and I think every one of us should be able to comprehend these notes and understand the concepts being talked about there. However, if you fail to comprehend or to understand what is on those notes or in those notes, please do not hesitate to contact us. There are 3 lecturers that have been assigned to teach you ICDL in the Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences. I will provide their contacts in the WhatsApp group so that if you have any question, you can ask them. Then they will be able to help you. Okay. So the lesson 1, I want to talk about hardware, computer hardware. I want to look at what is computer hardware, We want to identify the main types of computers and devices. And then we want to identify the main types of integrated and external equipment that are used with computers. And then have a look at input and outputs of computers. So hardware basically is the physical or the tangible parts of a computer, the items that you're able to see, touch and feel that make up a computer system. Right? I want you to listen to what I'm saying. I'm saying a computer system because a computer is a system. It is made up of various components that are working together in order to achieve a specific outcome, right? So a computer is a system. So hardware, these are parts of the system that are tangible, that are physical, that we can see. For example, in this image, we have the keyboard here, we have the screen, we've got the CPU box. These are tangible things. These are examples of hardware. Right. Then the types of computers that we have many different types of computers. But today we just want to look at 4 types of computers. For most of us, if we hear the word computer, there are 2 types of computers that come into mind. We have the desktop and the laptop. So the desktop is a computer that is designed to stay in a single location. It is not designed to be carried around. It is meant to be used from that single location, right? Then we have a laptop. This is a machine that you can use on your lap, hence the name laptop. You can carry it around. It's portable. They are designed to be mobile and flexible, right? They are meant to be used in many different environments. So basically, for a similar laptop with the same specs with a desktop, a laptop tends to be a bit more expensive than a desktop of similar specs. Don't generalize here. Similar specs, desktop and laptop. A laptop tends to be more expensive there. Then we move to tablets. So a tablet is a handheld device, sometimes called a palm top, which usually has a touch screen, which is a computing device that you interact with using the touch screen, which is built into the device. So common types of tablets, we have Android-based tablets, and then we've got iOS-based tablets from Apple. Then the one that is almost ubiquitous is the smartphone. Almost everyone has a smartphone, right? Except for a few individuals, but most of us now have smartphones. And we don't usually see or think of smartphones as computers, but really they fit perfectly into the definition of what a computer is. A computer is a programmable device for processing, storing, and displaying information. And our smartphones that we have, on top of the calling, the photos, additional features that they have, they perform all these functions. Hence, they are computers. So they are an example of a computer. Right. As for integrated and external equipment, in order for computers to perform other activities, for example, for a computer to be able to display what it is processing, for a computer to be able to print what it is, it requires other external devices or other devices that can be actually built into the computer that will enable it to perform these additional tasks. So we want to look at a few of those that you are expected to know from the curriculum, ICDL, but there are many types. You can actually do your own research and see how many actually, and see other devices or peripherals that are used with computers depending with the different industry applications. So the first one that we have is the screen. So a screen is a device used to visually display output, such as text and graphics. There are basically three types of screens that we expect you to know. We expect you to know the visual display unit, which is the traditional monitor. We expect you to know the projection screen, which is used for presentations, usually when presenting to a group of people. And then we want you to know about the touch screen, which doubles as an input device. Like a person is able to interact with what is displayed on the screen. Then the next device is the mouse. While we are here, I just want also to explain some concepts that we'll be using during this course. So a standard mouse or a basic mouse is made up of 3 buttons that you can interact with. The other one, you may not call it a button, but it's a wheel, right? So we have this part here, it's called the left button. Then we have this part here, is called the scroll wheel. Then we have this part here, is called the right button. So when I talk about right clicking, I will be referring to this button. When I talk about left clicking, I'll be referring to this button. And when I say just click, usually it's the left click. You understand? If I say click this icon, normally I'm just referring to the left click here. Double click is 2 fast clicks of the left button. That is what is called a double click. It's mostly used to activate an icon or to open what the icon is representing. And the next device that we have is the keyboard. This is the layout or the standard layout of a keyboard, of a Windows keyboard. There are 3 buttons that I want to talk about here on this keyboard for now. The first one is the Windows key. So when I say press the Windows key, this is the key that I'm referring to. Normally you have 2 Windows keys on your computer. One on the left side and one on the right side. Then we have the shift button. These are the shift buttons. When I say press the shift button, this is what I'll be referring to. I've had cases of some of you guys coming here for, say, correction of their emails. Then I give them a computer and say, guys, type in your email. They want to type john@gmail.com, right? Then they ask, how do I type in it? Then I tell them, press the shift button simultaneously with 2 here. Then they ask, where's the shift button? So this is the shift button for those who do not know. Right, so from now on, if you come and you say you can't find the shift button, I will refer you to this video, right? Then we have got the control key. This is the control key on a Windows keyboard. Then we have the Alt key. This is the Alt key. So there are some instances where I'll say press the control key or press the Alt key. These are the keys that I'll be talking about. The next input device or computer device that interacts with the computer is the trackpad. This replaces the mouse on a laptop. So on your laptop you don't have a mouse, you have this area. This is called the touchpad. It tracks the movement of your fingers and then moves the mouse on the screen, the mouse pointer on the screen in response to how you are moving your fingers and how you are selecting whatever you are selecting from the trackpad. So it is an integrated device that is used to translate motion and position of a user's finger to a related position on the screen. That's the official definition of a trackpad. Right. They are mostly used in laptops. The next device is a camera. So a camera is used to capture digital images or videos. For example, during a Zoom meeting, the camera captures your face or whatever environment that you are in, and then converts it into digital form and transmits it onto the other Zoom meeting members. So a camera is one of the devices that are used to capture video images by a computer. The next device is a speaker. So mostly if you are using your computer to listen to this video, you are hearing my voice through your computer speaker. So your computer speaker is one of the output devices that we have in the computing world. Microphone is used to convert the human voice, or to convert sound rather, into digital form for the computer to be able to capture sound and process it. So this recording that I am doing, I'm using a microphone to capture my voice. So a microphone is one of the devices that we have that are used with computers. Then we have got a device called a docking station. Docking stations are usually external devices that are used to connect laptops to other devices such as keyboards, monitors, speakers, or printers. So they expand the number of devices that you are able to connect to your, say, laptop at one point in time. So if you have got, say you have 2 USB ports on your laptop, you can make use of a docking station to connect up to 6 USB devices onto that laptop. So that's basically what a docking station is. It is an external device that is used to expand the number of devices that can be connected at one time to a laptop or to a computer. Computers need to store the information that they'll be working on, that they would have worked on, or whatever the user wants to keep for future use. So this section will look at the various storage devices that are available. The first one is called the hard disk drive. If you are looking at desktops and laptops, then almost always they have at least one hard disk drive where they will store all the information that they are working on, or that the user wants to keep, and the files that the computer uses for it to work, like for example the operating system. We shall look at that later on. So that information is stored on the hard disk drive. However, the hard disk drive is now being replaced by what is called a solid state drive, or SSD. This is new technology that is coming in to replace the hard drive. It has got its own advantages as to why the trend is moving towards the adoption. So I want to give you this as homework. Just go and look at the differences between an HDD and an SSD, so that you have a better understanding of what these devices are. Then the next storage device is the USB flash disk. So this is used for storing as an external storage medium, and it's mostly used for transferring files from one location to another, or as a backup to your files that you have on your computer. We don't encourage you to keep just one copy of a file on the USB flash drive, because the USB flash drive is prone to a lot of dangers that can result in the loss of your information. For example, due to its size, it can be lost. You can actually forget it on another computer, or it can be affected by a virus. So just use your USB flash drives as a backup for your files that are stored somewhere else, right? Don't use it as just the single storage for your files, especially important files. We have students crying after having lost their dissertations that were stored on a flash disk. So just keep that in mind. The other storage device that is mostly used with smartphones and tablets is the memory card. So a memory card is also another type of external storage device Then another storage device that is now common is the cloud, right? So I want you to look at what the cloud is. Just do a Google search of what the cloud is, and then you get a better understanding of what the cloud is, what advantages does the cloud give, and if we are saying we are storing information on the cloud, where exactly are we storing that information? So just have a look at cloud and who are the cloud service providers. Right. Then we have printers. There are basically two types of printers that you are expected to know according to the curriculum I have here of ICDL. We are expected to know about laser printers. So laser printers, these are mostly used in offices where large volumes of printing is done, right? It is more economical than the other types of printers. However, it is a bit more expensive to buy at first, but the operational costs of laser printers are relatively low. Then we have an inkjet printer. We have an inkjet printer. It is mostly used for personal use or for printing at home. This type of printer is cheap to buy but very expensive and difficult to maintain. Most of them come as color printers. They use inks in bottles, and these inks are notorious for drying out. So basically, I would advise on a personal, this is just personal opinion, that if you are looking for a small printer at home, just get yourself a small laser printer. It will be more economical in the long run as compared to an inkjet printer. Right. The next device is called a scanner. So a scanner is a device that is used to scan printed materials and photos, then convert them into digital format. So if you scan a picture or if you scan a document, the device will convert that physical document or that physical picture into a digital form, which you can edit on the computer. So a scanner is one of the devices you guys need to know about. Then we move into the common input and output ports. The first one is the USB port. The USB port comes in many different varieties. The most common one being the USB type A and the USB type B. The USB type A is what you find on your desktop and laptop mostly. However, we have newer laptops that are coming in with other USB type connectors like type C. Then USB type B is what you typically find on your printer. So a printer cable, we have one end with type A, which connects to your computer, and another end with type B that connects to the printer. You've got USB mini, USB micro, and lightning. So those are other types of USB ports that we have. Then we have got the HDMI ports. Before maybe I talk about the HDMI ports, USB stands for Universal Serial Bus. You are required to know this definition. Okay, there's a question in that regard. Then the next type of connector that we have is the HDMI. The HDMI port is a type of input and output port which is typically used to connect media devices to transfer video and audio data. For example, to connect your computer to a monitor. HDMI is slowly replacing other analog video standards, like here the one we are going to talk about next, the VGA. So HDMI stands for High Definition Multimedia Interface. You need to know this definition, and you need to know that HDMI is for transferring high quality or high definition video and audio data. between a computer or a computing device and another device, right? Then VGA, which stands for Video Graphics Array. These are ports that are used to physically connect a monitor, projector, or TV to transfer video data between that device and a computer. So VGA typically transmits this data in analog form, and it is being increasingly replaced by HDMI. You can only transfer video data using VGA. If you want to transfer audio data, you need external hardware, extra hardware and cable to handle the audio. Unlike in HDMI, where you can actually use that single cable to transmit both video and audio data. Now, this brings us to the end of this lesson on hardware. Please go through the notes on the ICDL platform for you to get a thorough understanding of these hardware devices. Then look at this review exercise and see. So welcome to lesson number 2, where we are going to talk about computer software. Unfortunately, I won't be able to show my slideshow in presentation mode because I'm having challenges with my screen recorder. Somehow it's failing to record my voice when I go to presentation mode. So we'll proceed. Right. So in this section, we want to define what software is. Then we want to distinguish the difference between operating systems and applications. We want to recognize that software can be installed locally or it can be accessed online. And then identify common examples of operating systems and also identify examples of applications. So what really is a software? So a software are the programs that are used to operate computers and the related devices to carry out tasks that computers are intended to perform. You know, the hardware are the physical things that we can touch, but software is intangible. We can't touch software, but it runs on the hardware and makes the hardware perform what it is intended to do, right? So software can be considered as a set of instructions designed to make the computer work by telling the computer and related devices to perform specific tasks. There are two categories of computer software. That is, we have operating systems and we've got applications. So what is an operating system? An operating system, these are systems and their related utilities that enable the computer to function. The operating system controls the computer, it schedules tasks, manages storage, and handles communication with other devices. So basically, the operating system sits between the application and the hardware, right? So maybe before I go there, let me define what the applications are. Applications are designed to carry out a specific task, right? For example, a web browser. It is an application that is specifically designed for web browsing. A word processor is actually an application that is designed to perform word processing tasks, right? So a computer now needs both the operating system and the application softwares to perform the various tasks that it needs to perform. So we have got these 4 blocks that are on the screen. We have the user, which is you. We have got the application, we've got the operating system, and we've got the hardware. So the user will interact with the computer by telling the computer what they want to do, right? And usually they do it through an application which provides that platform. For instance, a user can tell a computer that please open this website. The user will be doing it through a web browser application, right? So for the application to be able to interact with the hardware of the computer, it does so through the operating system, right? Then the operating system talks to the hardware. In response, the hardware talks to the operating system, which then talks back to the application, and then the application gives the user feedback. So this simple diagram here shows how the interaction is done. So it's from the user, the application, the operating system to the hardware. Then from the bottom is the hardware, talks to the operating system, the application then gives a response to the user. So this software, you may ask yourself, how do I install software onto a given computer? You can actually get a copy of the software from a CD. For instance, in the olden days, Windows used to be supplied on CDs, right? Then later on, software is now available online. You can actually go to a website where you can get a piece of software that is free. For example, if it's freeware, or you can actually make a payment for a license, for licensed versions of software. So these things are, there is not much that I can tell you, but would rather say just go and read on types of software distributions. How are softwares distributed? You look at those ones that are distributed via CDs. You look at online distribution, how are the softwares distributed. So you just need to go and read on that and look at how these softwares are actually accessed. Then I'll go on to give a few examples of the most common types of operating systems. We've got Microsoft Windows that we are using. Then we've got Apple, Mac OS. Then we've got Linux. These are common examples of operating systems that are run on Windows platforms, on desktop and laptop platforms. I'm sorry. Then we've got operating systems like Android. Android is an operating system. It runs on mobile devices. So just make use of Google and search for other examples of operating systems that we have not talked about here. For example, on Windows, look at the various versions of Windows, the various versions of Mac OSs, the various Linux distributions that are there. It's good to have knowledge on such things, even though the ICDL curriculum doesn't necessarily expect you to know the various Linux distributions, but for knowledge's sake, I think it's something good to just have that knowledge, right? This is a very short topic or short lesson which just requires you to read. I mean, then I want you to go and look at examples of application software. For example, we have got office productivity applications. Your Microsoft Office, your packages, that is Word, Excel, PowerPoint. We've got G Suite, we've got Apple iWorks. All those are examples of office productivity applications. I also want you to go and have a look at the web browsers that we have, examples of web browsers. We have got your Google, your Mozilla, your Apple Safari, Microsoft Edge. Then look at applications that are used for communications. Then I want you to look at social networking site applications. For example, if I open my browser here, I have got Microsoft, I've got Mozilla Firefox. If I do a search on social networking applications, I'll get all the examples. So that's what I expect you to do. Just go and have a look at those examples of applications. We've got design softwares. Then after you are done, have a look at these review questions, where we expect you to give examples of an operating system, examples of an application. You know, they're just simple questions. But if you are done with this chapter or with this lesson, just look at these questions and then go on the diagnostic test and look at other examples of questions that you may encounter on this. But otherwise, this is a straightforward lesson. Thank you. Part of the lesson, lesson 3, we are going to proceed with a virtual machine, because what I am going to do will require me to shut down the computer that I'm using. So the first activity being talked about here is how to log off your computer. So what we do, we go to the Windows Start button on the profile of the user, yeah, for logging out. Then we go on sign out. Okay, so as you can see, I'm now signing out of the virtual machine. To log in, you are presented with the login screen. You just put your password on the user which you want to log into. As you can see, this machine has 2 users, Ruramai and Computer Science. I want to log into the first account there, so I just put the password. Okay, so that's how you log in. So log off, you go on Windows Start button, then select your sign out option, and then you sign out. Log in, select the user you want, put in the password, then you are logged in. Then the next option requires us to restart the computer. What you do is you go on the start button, go on power, then choose restart. For the sake of time, I'm not going to select restart. I'm going to move to the shutdown options. Then after I shut down the machine, to be a conclusion to lecture 3, we'll then meet in lecture 4. So you go on start, go on power, then choose shutdown. Okay. Now, we are now going to look at chapter 4, or lesson number 4, where we are going to talk about file management. In this section, you are going to learn and have an understanding of the function of the desktop, the taskbar, and the operating system's file management application. You are going to understand how drives, folders, and files are organized, that is the hierarchical order of how files are stored on the computer. You are going to navigate between drives, folders, subfolders, and files. You are going to display files and folders in different view modes, and you are going to identify common icons and file types, and search for files and folders. So, what is the desktop, and where do we find the desktop? So the desktop is the first window that appears when the computer is powered on. For instance, this area that you are seeing right now on your screens is my desktop area. On my desktop, I've got a different number of areas that I can talk about. So we have got this area, if you can see my mouse, this whole area with icons here, that's the desktop area. Then at the bottom here we've got the taskbar. So the taskbar is composed of 3 main sections. We have got the start button, which is used to open the start menu. For instance, if I click on the start button here, the computer will open the start menu, and from the start menu I am able now to open any other application from the computer that I want to open. We have got the middle section here with icons here. This middle section shows open programs and files and allows me to navigate between the open programs and files, right? Then we have got the notification area. This last part here, it shows the clock and the date. It shows me other icons like the network, the microphone, and various other icons that I may have chosen to put into the taskbar, right? So definition, the official definition of the taskbar, it is a long horizontal bar which is usually placed at the bottom of the screen. I can actually move my taskbar around the screen. If I click on the taskbar and move, if it is not, I unlock first. If I click and move, you see I have moved my taskbar to the top. I can move my taskbar to any position. I have moved my taskbar to the right. I can actually move my taskbar to the left, or I can return it to its default position. So what I just did there was that I clicked on the taskbar and held my mouse, the left click, and kept on holding it, and then drag the taskbar to the position that I wanted to move to. First I had to unlock the taskbar. To access the menu, the conceptual menu for the taskbar, remember I said you use the right click. So if I press the right click, I open the contextual menu, and then I choose the item that I want, which is lock the taskbar. Okay. Then on the taskbar, I can use the search box here to search for any application that I want. For example, I want to search for Microsoft Word. I just type Word. Then the system will give me suggestions, and in this case I want Microsoft Word. I then choose Microsoft Word. I'm not going to open Microsoft Word for now, but you can type in any application that you want on this search box, and then you have the application suggestion popping up. Right, so that's all about the desktop. So we have got icons here on the desktop, and this is the desktop area, and we have the taskbar. That's what you need to remember. Then I am going to move to the file management. So data on a computer is saved as electronic files. Files enable you to retrieve information when you require that information. For example, you may compose and save a document such as your assignment, right, as a file. Once that document is saved as a file, it can then be retrieved later, or you can actually edit it and then print it. So a file is an item that is used to store information on a computer, such as text or images. Files are displayed as icons, so which makes it easy to recognize the file type. For example, on my desktop here, let me see if I have file. Yes, I have this SS2 file. It's a text file, right? That the license file. These are examples of files. So you shall understand icons later on when we talk about the different icon types that are available in Windows. So after files, we've got what are called folders. So folders are used to group similar files together. They help us to organize files on a computer. So folders are basically placeholders or storage containers used to hold files. So folders within other folders are known as subfolders. So folders are meant to make file management easy. Rather than having files in one place, you can actually group them into similar files going into similar folders or into the same folders. Then finally we have the drives, where the files are stored in the folders. This is an example of a drive. For example, my computer has got this local drive C. So on the drive, I'll put in folders, and then inside folders, I have got files. So files are kept in a hierarchical order in Windows to make, in fact, in all operating systems, files are usually saved in a hierarchical order. Windows is the drive, followed by the folder, then the file. So inside the drive, for example, if I double click this drive, I have folders. Inside this folder, if I double click or if I open the folder, I have subfolders. Inside the subfolders, if I double click, I have a file. You can actually have many subfolders within a single folder, right? So Windows 10 uses an application called File Explorer to manage files. How do you access this File Explorer? Actually, right now I've already opened File Explorer, but I want to show you how you can actually open File Explorer. So let me close it. So when you start your computer and you are presented with the desktop like I have here, usually File Explorer is found on your taskbar. There is an icon there. You just click on the icon. Here I want this PC. I want to navigate to this PC folder. Okay? That's one way of opening File Explorer. The other way of opening File Explorer is if I go on my search here and type file. Even before I finish typing, Windows gives me a suggestion of what I want to open. So here I have a suggestion of File Explorer. I'll open File Explorer. Right? And then navigate to this PC because that's what I want. That's where I want to be at this particular moment. Right? So after File Explorer opens, there are different areas within File Explorer that we shall talk about later on. But before I talk about that, I want to talk about the different or the common types of icons that we have, the different types of icons and file types that we have in Windows 10. In Windows 10, we have, let me try to put this to full screen. The computer is having a hard time, so from current slide. There are a lot of background processes that my computer is doing, that's why it's a bit slow at the moment. So let's wait for it to open the image that I want to show you with the different types of files, icons that we have. So this is also available in your ICDL notes or on skills box. So the icons can be categorized into files. For example, here we have got a Word file, we've got an Excel file, we have got a PowerPoint file. Then folders are usually presented by an icon in this form, this yellow folder image there. We have got icons that represent applications. We have got icons that represent drives. We have got icons that represent shortcuts. We have got icons that represent printers, and we have got icons that represent the recycle bin. So please take your time to read and navigate the different file icon types that we have in Windows 10. So going back to my desktop, this is an icon for the recycle bin, as we saw earlier. This is an icon for a shortcut to an application called Arduino IDE. This is another shortcut to Packet Tracer. This is a folder icon, and this is a Word document icon that I have. So those are the different icons that we have on Windows 10. We also have file extensions. I want you to go and look at file extensions. For example, if I right click on the properties for this file, I want you to see the extension. When I say a file extension, I go to properties. You shall forgive me because okay, so this type of file is called a .lic file here in brackets. So that's the file extension. So you guys, I want you to go and look at the different file extensions that we have in Windows. For example, this one is a docx file, the newer extension for Microsoft Word processing, for the Microsoft Word processing application Word. The extension is docs. Okay, so just go and have a look at the various types of file extensions that we have. Now, if I open File Explorer, there are many different views that I can choose to have for my icons or for the files that are there. Let me go to the view menu here. If I go on view, it gives me an option to choose how I want my files and folders to appear when I open File Explorer. So if I go on extra large icons here, that's how I have changed the view. If I go to details, then if I go to lists, by default usually they come as tiles if I am on this PC tab. So just play around with Windows and change the various views that are available in File Explorer. Now, you may have a lot of files on your computer and you want to search for a specific file, and you probably may have forgotten the particular location where you saved your file. You need to make use of the search tab in File Explorer. So if I move over here to the top right, there's a search tab. So this is lesson 5. We are going to talk about organizing files in folders. So after completion of this section, you should be able to create folders, recognize good practice in naming files and folders. You should be able to rename files and folders, select, copy and move files and folders, delete and restore files and folders, and also be able to sort files within a specified folder. So the concepts here are specified in your notes. Wants to help you to organize and name your folders and files, because this has a big impact on your ability to find those files later and to understand what they contain in future when you want to open those files. So you should be consistent and descriptive in naming and organizing files so that it is obvious where to find specific data and what the file contains. Some basic guidelines for structuring folders and naming files are given below. Number 1, keep file and folder names short but meaningful. Avoid unnecessary repetition and redundant words in file names and file paths. Use capital letters or underscore to delimit words and not spaces. What do they mean here? For example, we may want to rename our file as BMS 2.1 2024. So instead of putting spaces there, we can actually put underscores between BMS and 2024, something like that. I will demonstrate later on. Then there are also some special characters that you should avoid when you are renaming files. There are a couple of them, and there's actually a question which asks you this particular information here. So you might need to take time with your notes and memorize all these symbols which are listed here, which you must not include in your file names. So without much wasting time, let us go to the demonstration. So the first activity that we want to do is to create a folder. So when you want to create a folder, you navigate to the location where you want to create that folder. In this case, I have a location called ICDL on this computer, so that's where I want to create that folder. It's inside my documents. So I'm now in the ICDL location where I want to create the folder. You right click. Remember those 3 buttons that I talked about on the mouse. The right one, that's the one that we use for right clicking. You go on new and then click on folder. It then gives you an option to name that folder. We are going to name this folder folder 1. Okay, so that's the first activity that we need to do. Then the next activity requires us to rename that folder or to rename a file. So to rename, we are going to right click on the folder and then choose rename and then put in the new name, which is maybe Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences. That's the new folder name. If it's a file, we have this file named ICDL candidates list. I just go on the file and right click the file, go on rename and put in the new name. So this is maybe I'll add 2024 to this file name. So that's how you basically name or rename a file. Okay, so the next step is for us to select, copy and move files and folders within different locations. So what you need to do is maybe before I go there, there are instances where you need to move just a single file, and then there are instances where you need to move multiple files, and then there are instances where you need to select specific files that you want to move. So we are going to demonstrate the 3 scenarios. So the first scenario is when you want to move a single file. What you do is make sure the file is closed, because if the file is open and you want to move it, Windows won't allow you to do that. So you go to the file, right click on the file and choose cut, that is for moving the file. You then go to the location where you want to place the file, right click on a blank space and click on paste. The file cruise schematic has been moved from the previous location to the new location in the FMHS folder. Now if I want to copy a file, that is I want a copy of the file to remain in the original location, I'll right click, choose on copy, then go to the location where I intend to place my file, right click and click on paste. So I've got the electronic speed governor circuit file. If I go back to the original location, the file is still there, so I've actually created another copy of the file. So that's the difference between moving and copying a file. Moving, you are removing the file from the original location to a new location. Copying, you are leaving a copy of that file in the original location. So the next operation is we want to move multiple files at once. So what you do is you click on the first file that you want to move, then hold down the shift key. I'm sure we all remember the shift key which I showed you in the previous lectures. Then go to the last file that we intend to move. Right. That way you would have selected all the files that you want to move. Then you right click and then select cut if you want to move the files. If you want to copy the files, you choose copy. In this instance, we are going to copy the files because we want the copies to remain because we want to use them in the next operation. So we are going to choose copy. Then we go to the Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences folder, right click, click on paste. So other copies of the file already exist, so in this case I'm going to skip. So you see that's how you move multiple files at once. Then the last scenario is when you want to move selected files. You want to move multiple but selected files, not everything, but just selected files. So what you do is you hold down the control key on your keyboard. I'm sure I showed you the control key. So right now I'm holding down my control key, and then you click on the files that you intend to move, right? So right now I've selected 4 files that I intend to move. I release control, then press right click on the mouse and choose copy. Now if I paste the files in the Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences folder, I'll be prompted with the option to replace the files since they already exist. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new folder where I'm going to paste these files. So I'll right click, new folder. I'm going to change the name of the folder, then double click the folder to open it, then paste the files. So you see I've moved just the 4 files. Then the next operation that we want to do is to delete and restore files and folders. So I'm going to demonstrate this operation from the new folder that I've created. So to delete the files, I'll open the folder, then select the files using that method which we did earlier on. I want to delete everything in this scenario. So I click the first file, hold down shift and click on the last file. Click the first and the last file. Right, I've selected everything, then right click and choose delete. Right, so what I've actually done is I have removed these files from my location and placed them to another location which is known as the recycle bin. That's what the recycle bin, the delete function does. It does not actually delete the files from your computer, but it moves them from the original location to a recycle bin location. So where do we find this recycle bin location? There are 2 ways. If you know the location, like in this case, I know it's in the desktop, I'll go straight to the desktop. Then here is my recycle bin. If I double click to open the recycle bin, you find that my files are in the recycle bin together with other files that have been deleted previously. So if I have a specific file which I want to restore, for example, here I want to restore the die file, I right click and click on restore. Right, the file has been moved back to the original location, which is inside my Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences folder. Here, the die file. Okay, then the last operation that you guys are expected to know is the sort function. That is, you want to sort your files based on a parameter of your choice. We have got multiple parameters which you can use to sort your files. Right, so let's navigate to our Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences folder. Right, we are in the Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences folder. We go to the View tab on our menu. There is this option for sort by. If I click on it, there's a drop down menu. I have an option to sort the files based on name, date modified, type, size, etc. up to title. Then I've got another option to sort in descending or ascending order. So what I do is, if I want to sort according to size, I'll select size. Then on that size, if I want to further sort it maybe in ascending order or descending order, maybe I want to, in descending I'm starting with the largest file, and then in ascending I want to start with the smallest file. Let me choose ascending in this case. You see, the first file will be a small file, followed by the next size file until we go to the largest file. So that's how you do the search function, the sort function in File Explorer. So this concludes this part of the lesson. Meet you in the next one. So lesson 6, the majority of activities in lesson 6, like item 1 and 2, identify the main types of storage media, identify file and folder size, and storage capacity measurements. These are things that require you to do some reading from your notes. The only practical component that I'm going to demonstrate here is the last one, which says display file, folder, and drive properties. Here we'll be working with the right click button on the mouse. So what we do is let me navigate to the folder, to this PC folder here. So if I want to view properties of a folder, I right click on the folder and go on properties. So what it does is it will show me the size. Here we are interested in the size of the folder. There are a variety of other things that you can see from here, but here we are interested in the size of the folder. Here we have got the size of the file, and then we've got the size, the actual space that is occupied on the hard disk drive by this folder. It also tells us how many files and how many subfolders are contained in that folder. Right. Then the next thing that we want to view its properties is the hard drive or a disk, a storage media. We right click, we go on properties. So here it shows me that the used space, the total capacity of this drive is 633 gigabytes. Of that 633 gigabytes, I've used 210 gig, and I've got 423 gig free space. So those are the disk properties that you can actually view concerning the disk size. Right. Then the last option is the file properties. So let me go into any file of choice, like for example this file called car hacking 101. Let me go on right click, go on properties. You see, location, it shows me where the file is located. The file is on the C drive, which is my computer's hard drive, inside the users folder. Then from the users folder I go to the admin folder, and then finally the documents folder. Its size is 2.01 megabytes. Size on disk is also approximately 2.01 megabytes. So let me just show you how we navigate to this location here, the C drive. So the first thing is let me go to File Explorer. So this is the C drive, local C. Then it is said it's in the users folder. Look, local C, users, then admin, right? From admin, I go to documents. So you see that path which we are seeing on that file, on the properties on that file. From C, users, admin, documents, and then we have got our file, car 101 hacking. So if I right click on these properties, you see this path. The C, users, the admin, and then the document. So that's how you navigate to a particular folder. So that's all for lesson 6. The other items, it requires you to do reading on your own. Thank you. Okay, so welcome to lesson 7. Lesson 7, we are going to talk about connecting additional peripherals to a computer using USB and Bluetooth. So in this lesson, you will learn how to connect a device, equipment to a computer using USB connection, disconnect a USB device, equipment from a computer using an appropriate routine, connect and disconnect computers, devices, and equipment using a Bluetooth connection. So for connecting a Bluetooth, for connecting a device to a USB port, you first need to identify the USB port on your computer. So remember, in lesson 1, we talked about the various ports that are available on a computer. So in this case, we want to make use of the USB port. I am going to plug a USB flash drive into this computer. So this is a storage media. It's something that I expect to find under this PC. So I'm going to open this PC, and then I am going to plug in the USB device into my computer. Right. So after I unplug the USB device, it appears under my devices here. So this is a storage media, so it appears under storage devices. I am able to view the properties of this USB storage. It is a 14.6 gigabyte flash disk. Actually, it's a 16 gig flash, but because of formatting and other files occupied by the file system, I'll end up with 14.6 gigabytes usable space. I've used 10.1 gig, and I have 4.47 gigs remaining. Okay, so how do I remove this or uninstall this device from my computer in the proper way? For a USB flash drive, if I go to the lower right corner of my screen here, there is an option here which says safely remove hardware and eject media. If I click on that, it then opens a pop-up menu with a list of devices that are connected to my computer. In this case, I've just connected one device, so I'm going to eject this device. So Windows will tell me when it's safe to remove the hardware. It is safe to remove the hardware. I then remove the device. So that's all about connecting a USB device and removing a USB device. Now, in terms of connecting a Bluetooth device, it needs your computer to have the Bluetooth capabilities. So this computer that I have is Bluetooth capabilities. Normally, the connectivity icons are found in the notification area here in Windows. So I'm going to expand this, then go to the Bluetooth device symbol. This is the Bluetooth device symbol. Inside the notes, this symbol is there, so you need to know it. I click on the symbol, right, and then choose on add a Bluetooth device, right. So I want to add a Bluetooth device to this computer. What type of device do I want to add? I just want to add any generic Bluetooth device, right? So I go here. I want to, there are mouse, keyboards, pens, audio. So the computer now searches for available Bluetooth devices within my range. I'm sure the Bluetooth range should be about 100 meters. So device is within 100 meters from my device. I then identify a device of my choice. In this case, the device that I have inside this office is this one, which is being said unknown device. It's an HP printer that we have. So I'm going to select that device and then try to connect to it. Right. So I have actually connected to the device. You now see the printer is now identified by its name. It's a HP LaserJet 4103 series. After I am done connecting to this device, I go on click on done. I don't go and click on done. I've actually managed to pair my device to this computer. To view the paired device, I go back to my notification area, click on the Bluetooth icon, then show Bluetooth devices. Right. I have this device here under paired device. To disconnect this device, I just go on the device, click on the device, and then choose remove device. Are you sure you want to remove the device? Yes. So that's how you undo a device that you would have paired using Bluetooth. So that's all for this lesson. Meet you in the next. Okay, so welcome to lecture 8. In this lesson, we shall learn how to install an application, uninstall an application, shut down a non-responding application, and then how to take a screen capture, or what we normally call a screenshot, on a desktop computer. So I'm going to slightly change the order of how we are going to do this lecture. We are going to start with how to uninstall an application. Then I'll uninstall an application that I already have on this computer. Then I'll show you how to install it when I'm reinstalling the application. So to uninstall an application, we do it through the control panel. How do we navigate to the control panel? We can actually use the search window here, control panel. And then the option of the control panel appears here and we select the control panel. That's the other method. The other method is we go to the Windows Start button and then start typing control panel. So control panel will appear and then we select control panel. On control panel, I want to navigate to uninstall a program because that's what we want to do. We want to uninstall a program. So the program that we want to uninstall, it's an audio processing software called Audacity. Because I've chosen Audacity because it's a relatively small file, so the installation process will be rather quick. So we go to Audacity. I could choose uninstall, right? Windows wants you to confirm if you really want to remove the application. I then go on uninstall. Are you sure you want it completely? Yes. So the uninstallation does, and you'll be given a pop-up that says Audacity uninstall complete. Some elements could not be removed. This can be removed manually. These are some add-on features that are added to this program, which I can uninstall manually later on, but I don't want to uninstall them because it's an application that I actually make use of. Okay, so how then do I install an application? Remember I said I'm going to start with uninstall so that we remove an application, then do the process of installing it. Where do I find Audacity? Audacity is a free software which I can download online. So I've already downloaded Audacity, but for the purpose of this lecture, let me navigate to the website where you can actually download Audacity. Alright. So if I do a search of Audacity, right. So remember, you'll be navigating to the website of an application of your choice. I'm just showing you how I get to download Audacity. So on their website, I've got an option of downloading Audacity. So I go on download Audacity. Then the download starts. After the download is done, I then navigate to my downloads folder. That's where this application has been saved. What you can actually do is on that download page, you just click on the folder icon there, then go to Audacity. There is Audacity Windows, it's a 64-bit application. Right click on it. We are now in the process of installing. We go on open. Then do you want to allow this app to make changes to your device? Yes. This is a Windows security feature. I choose my language, then I choose next. The installation wizard will just do its magic. I just click to confirm my options here, and then finally choose on install. So I've actually installed Audacity onto my computer, and then I've also chosen an application, an option which launches Audacity after the installation. So this is Audacity that is opened. Okay, so I'm closing it for now. Then the other activity that we are expected to do is to shut down a non-responding application. Unfortunately, I do not have a non-responding application at the moment, but what you do is you press Ctrl and hold it, then Alt and hold, then delete. What you are doing there is you are opening Windows Task Manager, which is here. It shows you all the tasks that are running on your computer. So we wait for Task Manager to open. It then shows a list of all the applications that are running on your computer. For instance, if Firefox was not responding, there will be a not responding written here. If it's Chrome, non-responding is written here. So you then go to that application. Let us assume that the sniping 2 is not responding, right? Because it's an application that I've opened, but I'm not using it at the moment. You then go and right click on that application and choose end task. So that's how you terminate that application if it's no longer responding. Okay, so I think that's it for this lesson. Thank you. Okay, so lesson 9, I'm going to combine lesson 9 and skip lesson 10, then go to lesson 11, because there is not much practical work required on lesson 10. It requires reading on your part. So on lesson 9, I'm going to look at how to connect and disconnect from a wireless network. That's the only practical thing that I think is worth demonstrating here. So to view the wireless networks that are available or within range from your device, you go to the network icon here. Then the list of all Wi-Fi networks will be listed here for your device to connect. In this case, let me try to connect to this Wi-Fi here, right? So I'll be prompted for a password for this Wi-Fi. Let me see if I can manage to connect. Okay, so this is a public network, so I am prompted if I want this device to share its resources with other computers on that Wi-Fi. I do not wish to do so. So after that, as you can see, my computer is now connected to the U of Z computer science Wi-Fi. How to disconnect? I will simply go on disconnect here. That's how I would have disconnected from the Wi-Fi. That's it for lesson 9. Then lesson 10, as I said, requires a bit of reading from your part. Lesson 11, it now talks about managing information online. We want to talk about how to create and delete bookmark folders, how to add web pages to a bookmark folder, how to download and save files, as well as printing web pages. Okay, so the browser we are going to be using is Chrome. That's the browser that you are required to use for this skills box. So you go to the taskbar and launch Chrome. You do so by clicking on Chrome. Right, the bookmark icon is this star here. So if I click on this star, it shows me the bookmarks. But what we want to do first is to create a bookmark folder where we are going to add our websites. So what we do is we go to these three vertical dots here, then go to bookmarks and lists, go to bookmark manager, then click on these three dots and add a new folder. We need to give that folder a name. So for this course is online essentials. So this is online essentials. What is the spelling of essentials? Is that okay? And then I save my bookmark. Then once I've created my folder, I now want to go and add websites to this folder. Then go and open a web page of my choice. Maybe I want to open the code or skills box UI. Right. So after the web page opens, I want to add it to my bookmark folder. I will then go to the bookmark icon here, click on it, then go on edit, because I want to select a folder. So this is the folder I want to save my bookmark to, and then click on done. So that's how I would have added my file to a bookmark folder. To delete the bookmark folder, I go to my three dots, go to bookmarks and lists, go to bookmark manager, then right click on online essentials, then choose delete. I've actually deleted the bookmark folder along with all other bookmarks that were on that folder. The next thing that we are required to do is to download files from the internet. I will make use of this RBZ website, which is already open for the sake of time. So there are two ways we can download a file. The first method is we go onto the link or the hyperlink to the file. For example, I want to download the exchange rate on the 2nd of April 2024 here. So this is the hyperlink to that file. What I'll do is I'll right click on the file, then go on save link as. Right, so I'll be given an option to save that file, then click on save, and my download status shows me that I've completed the download. So that's the first method. The second method is to actually open the file. For example, if I want to read on the 3rd, if I click on the file opens. I'll then go to the download icon here and click on it. I'll also be prompted with a way of saving the file. Okay. Then the next item is how to print a web page. To print a web page, we go to these three horizontal dots, then navigate to print. Okay. So this is a print preview of the document, how the document will appear after I print it. And here is the list of printers that I have. I only have one HP LaserJet printer here, so I'll select, I'll then choose the number of pages, and not actually the number of pages, the range of pages that I want to print For instance, here I want to print the whole document. Then here I specify the number of copies that I want to print for the document. Say I choose 3 copies. If my printer is a color printer, I will have an option of printing the document in color, like here, or in black and white. Then go on print. If I choose print here, my document is sent to my printer for printing. So I think that's all for lesson 9 and 11. Just need to practice these things. They are quite simple. Okay, so lesson 12, we are going to look at our web browser settings. After this session, you should be able to set the web browser homepage, understand and manage pop-ups, understand and manage cookies, as well as delete browsing data. So I'm just going to demonstrate the processes of the ways of doing all these processes. So remember, our web browser that we are using is Chrome. So I'm going to launch Chrome. Maybe let me go back so that I don't skip at the steps. Right. So the first activity that we are required to do is to set the browser web to set the web browser's homepage. So what you do is you go to these 3 dots, go to settings, right, and then go to where it says on startup. So on startup, when the browser starts up, what do you want the browser to do? You want the browser to open a new tab? Do you want the browser to continue where you left, or you want the browser to open a specific page or set of pages? So in this case, we are required to set a specific page. So what we are going to do is we add a new page here when the browser starts. Let's say we want the browser to open www.uz.ac.zw when the browser starts. Then add that page to the pages that we want the browser to open upon initial startup. Okay, then the next item that we are required to do is to manage is pop-up management. Again, if we let me close this, we navigate to settings. Right, under settings, pop-ups are found under privacy and security. You go to privacy and security, you navigate down to where it says site settings. You see, you find location, camera, pop-ups and more. So we choose site settings. By default, pop-ups are disabled, right? Then we go to pop-ups and directs, right? Click here, right? Default behavior: do not allow sites to send pop-ups, because if you allow sites to send pop-ups, your browsing can actually become a nightmare, because there are a lot of adverts that will be popping up, a lot of stuff. So normally we want to disable those pop-ups. However, there are some sites, for example our Skillsbox website requires us to allow it to send pop-ups. So what we do is we go to a section where it says allowed to send pop-ups. This is where we add websites which we want to allow to send pop-ups. So we click on add. You have an option of typing the website here, right? That's the first option. The other option is if the website is already open, you can actually go to the website and copy the URL there, right? You copy the URL and then you go to your pop-ups and you paste the URL. That's the other option, and then you click on add. I'm not going to add this website at this particular moment. So that's how you manage pop-ups and redirects. Then if you have a website which is particularly giving you a headache and you don't want that website to send pop-ups, you go on add here and then you add that website to this part where it says this site is not allowed to add any pop-ups. Then the next thing that we want to look at is management of cookies. Need you to go and read and find out why websites use cookies. What is the advantage of these cookies? What purpose do they actually serve, right? So for cookies management, let me start from where it begins. Right, we close the settings, right? You go on the three dots, go to settings, go to privacy and security again. I'm just showing you the steps so that if a question comes and says where do you click to disable cookies, you actually know the sequence. So under the privacy and settings, there is this section which says third-party cookies. You click on third-party cookies. You have an option to allow third-party cookies. You have an option to block third-party cookies, etc. So this is where you do your cookies management. The next thing regarding management of website or web pages is to do with clearing your history or management of your history. Because by default, websites keep history of all the web pages that you might have visited. Probably you might be browsing on a public computer and you don't want the next person to view the pages that you've been viewing. So what you do is you go on the three dots in the case of Chrome. You then go on history if you want to view the history, right? If you click on history, it shows you all the web pages that you have visited previously, right? So that's all the web pages that you would have visited on that particular day and the previous days. Then you've got the option to clear the browsing data, right? So when you choose clear browsing data, it is an option for you to clear the history completely, all the history. You clear the browsing history, you clear all the cookies inside data, all cache images and files, which enable websites to open a bit faster. They will be cleared if you choose a time range, say to be all time. But maybe you want to just clear what you've browsed in the last hour, in the last 24 hours. These are the choices that we have. After you've selected your time frame, you then go on clear data. Right, that's the other option, way of clearing your history. The other way you can clear your history is to go on the three dots and then go directly to where it says clear browsing data. Here it does not give you an option to view the history that you want to clear. Okay, then that reminds me of something that I've actually skipped in the previous step. Okay. Let me maybe finish off this and then go back to the previous step. Here it allows you to delete your history as well, just like we have done in the past step. Okay, so you clear on clear data. I don't want to clear my history, so I'm going to cancel. If you choose this option, it allows you to view the history that you of all the sites that you have visited. So maybe you want to clear history to a specific history of a specific website that you have visited. So what you do is you click on that web page and then choose on delete. So it leaves all the other history, all the other websites intact, but then it just deletes that particular website. So that's all about lesson 12 on web browser settings. So this is lesson 14. Actually lesson number 13, there is not much practical work that is required to do there. It's mostly theoretical items, so I've just skipped lecture 13. So lecture 14, after completion, should be able to create an email message, should be able to enter content and email addresses into an email message, should identify when to use the to copy and the blind copy fields, should be able to send an email message, add and remove a file attachment. So those are the activities that we are going to demonstrate here. So the email application that we are going to be used is Outlook. So maybe I'll start by describing the various sections of Microsoft Outlook. This is a screenshot from Microsoft Outlook 2016. So number one there is the quick access toolbar. So this is usually placed in the upper left corner of Outlook. It contains the most commonly used commands. It's part of Microsoft Office, Microsoft Office packages. Like for example, in this PowerPoint, we've got this quick access toolbar here with the most common commands that I use. I have save, I've got undo, I've got launch a presentation. So Microsoft Outlook is that as well. Then the second area is the ribbon. So the ribbon contains frequently used commands and is organized in different sections for ease of access. Again, this is a Microsoft Office feature. So the ribbon has got different command groups. Similar commands are grouped together in the ribbon, right? So for example, here we are on the home tab of the ribbon for Microsoft Outlook. We have got commands that are related to operations that you may need to do when you're in home. If you go to the send or receive menu item here, a ribbon with commands for that command group will also appear. Then the third section that we have here in Microsoft Outlook, it contains the folder pane. It shows the various folders that are within Microsoft Outlook. We find the inbox folder in which our incoming emails are received. We've got the sent items folder. We've got the outbox. We've got the junk email folder. All the varied folders that we have actually found in this folder pane. Then we also have the fourth pane. This is the message area where our message are listed, or the preview, actually not previewed but are listed. All the messages that you receive, say for the day or from yesterday, they are listed on that pane number 4. Pane number 5 is the reading pane. It shows a preview of each selected message. Then we have got the number 6, which is the navigation bar. It allows you to quickly preview the various Outlook elements by hovering your mouse over each one of them. You can actually use the navigation pane to switch panes in Outlook. So that's basically the appearance, the different sections of Outlook that we have. So in order for us to send the email, we need to start the Outlook application. I'm going to start the Outlook application from here, from the search box. Right. So you see those are areas that we're talking about. For example, if I click on this email, it gives me a preview of that message. All the emails that I'm clicking here. I'm just getting the preview. So how do I create a new email? To create a new email in Outlook, you go here on this top left corner here and click. Right. This window then comes up. On the window there is a to section. This to section, it it is for the intended recipient, the main recipient of the email. So for example, if I want to send an email to someone, say this one, I'm sending an email. Then there is another section which is the carbon copy, which is a second recipient for the email. I put that their email in this section. So we have got sorry, let me just attend to something. Just, okay, welcome back. Sorry, I was attending to someone. Okay, so I was where I was saying a carbon copy. It's a second recipient whom I want to receive this email. So I'll enter my second recipient. That's my second recipient for the carbon copy. Then I have the subject area here, which is an area where I will have to enter the person or the subject or the reference of the message, what the message is all about. So maybe I'll just say ICDL training. That's the subject of this email. Right. There is another option for me to add a blind carbon copy, which is another recipient whom I do not want other recipients to view their details about. I add them on the blind carbon copy section. So here, maybe let me add someone here. On the blind carbon copy here and say okay. Right, so I have two, which is the main recipient, then the carbon copy, another additional recipient whom I want to receive the email, then the blind carbon copy, another recipient whom I want to receive the email, but I do not want other recipients to view their information. Then I've got the subject. After that, I have the message board. This is where I will type in my message. So my message here, ICDL training demo. Okay, so that is an ICDL training demo. That's my message here in my salutations. Right, then the other thing I'm required to do is to add or to attach a file to my message. What I do in Outlook, I go to this icon here and click on attach file. Here it gives me a list of recent files that I have opened. They are just suggestions. So what I will need to do is maybe I want to browse to a specific file. Here I had ICDL modules for UZ. Then we have got we are doing computer and online essentials. I want to send this file. I will then put on attach. Right. After I am done attaching the file, I can then send the message. Right. But before I send the message here, this is the send icon. There is also a requirement for you to know how to remove an attachment. If say you've attached the wrong file and want to attach another file, you go on the drop down menu here. It gives you an option to remove the attachment. So I will remove the attachment. Then if I want to add another file, I'll just add that file which I now want to attach and click on send. Right. So if I click on send, the message is sent to all those recipients. Okay, so that's it for this lecture. Thank you. Okay, so lesson 15, we are going to look at receiving an email, the processes that are involved. That is opening, closing email message, a reply to an email message, forward a message, open, save, delete a file attachment, change the read status of a message, flag and unflag a message. So we go back to our application, Outlook. Right, from Outlook, I want to go to a message which I received from this sender here. So this message has got an attachment. So how do I reply to this message? I go to reply here. There are a variety of options when it comes to replying. For instance, if this message had been sent to multiple users, multiple individuals, and I want my reply to go to all those people, I go on reply all. But if I want the reply to go to the sender or the originator of the message, I go on reply. So in this case, I'm going on a reply. So I'll then type my reply here, and once I'm done, I then send the message to the sender. However, there may be a time when I want to forward the message to another recipient who was not on the initial list. Again, after clicking on the message, I click on forward. It gives me an option to send to another person who was not on the original recipients of the message. So that's how I forward the message. Right, now I want to open an attachment and have the option of saving it or deleting it. What I do is I go to my inbox, right? This is the message I have here. Then my attachment, I have an option of saving the attachment, right? If I want to save the attachment, so if I click on save the attachment as it's guidelines for video application development proposal, it already exists. I don't want to save it, right? But if you want to save it, you click on save. If you want to delete the attachment, you also go on the drop down menu and choose remove attachment, right? That's how you would have deleted the attachment. To close a message, that is an email that you have already opened, you go on this corner here, top right corner, and you click on close. Do you want to save? Yes. You close the email. So to change the read status of a message, if a message is not yet read, it usually appears in bold. So maybe I've actually read all my inbox messages, but maybe I want to change the status of this message that we've been working on. I go on and read here. So you see it appears in bold here. So that's how I change the status of my message from read to unread. So if I want to mark it as having been read, I click here. The message is now showing as if it has been read. Then the other option is if I want to make a follow-up of a message in future, there's this flag here which I use to mark my message that I want to follow up. So I click on the message that I want the operation or the command to take effect on, then go on follow up, then click on flag message. Right, so I'm not sure why this message is not being flagged. Maybe let me see this one. Yes. Okay, so that's how you do it. You click on this orange or red flag here to mark the message so that you follow it up later on. Okay, thank you. I think that's it for this lesson. Meet you in the next one. How to create a contact group, send a message to a contact group, update contacts in a contact group, delete a contact and contact group. So we are going to do all these operations in Microsoft Outlook. So let me start Outlook from here. Okay, so we start Outlook. I've started Outlook from the search button. So the first thing that we need to do when we are dealing with contacts, we have to go to the navigation pane here and go to this icon here. This is where we find contacts and people. So the first task that we want to do is to create a contact. We go here on new contacts, right? So this window then pops up. We put in the name of the contact, say John Smith, probably just John Smith, company, let's say University of Zimbabwe. Job title, maybe John is a driver. Okay, right, then we put his email address here, maybe it's jsmith at admin.uz.ac.zw. If we need to add other additional details like the phone number and everything, we use these provided spaces, but for now we just want to input these few fields. We then save and close. So as you can see, John has been added to my contacts here in Outlook. Then the next thing it says create a contact group. So to create a contact group, I just go here on new contact group. I find the name of my contact group, say maybe drivers. And now I want to add members to my contact group. I go on add member. Here I've got various options. For now I'm going to choose maybe from Outlook contacts. I have Mary, I have Trevor. I double click on the contacts and then click on add. If I want to add a member from the address book, I click on the address book. It's just the same as my Outlook contacts. Okay, so those are the two ways that I can add group members. So after I'm done, I just click on save and close. Now you may want to edit a contact or edit a group. That's the next operation that we want to do. So to edit, you just double click on the contacts and then say Mary, James. Maybe you want to add another name here, probably we say Lewis, right? That's just an additional name, and then we save and continue. That's how we edit information on a contact. For a group, say we double click here. Maybe I want to remove a member. If I want to remove Mary from here, I just go on remove and then save and close. So that's how I would actually edit a contact or a group. The next operation that I want to do is to send an email to a contact group. I'll go back here to mail and then go on new mail, then to I want to send this to drivers, right? So you see the suggestion comes up. Subject, maybe vehicle update, right? Then I type my body here. Dear, please find blah 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 blah. Right. So that's how I create an email that I send to a group of people. After I'm done, I then click on send. So the email that I'm sending this message to does not exist, but this is just for demonstration purposes. So once the message is done, think that will be all for this lesson. Meet you in the next lesson. Okay, so the last item that we are going to look at is working with Microsoft Outlook calendars. So to navigate to calendars, after you open your Microsoft Outlook, you go to the navigation tab here and go to calendar. So when you open calendar, you have got this area right here is called the date picker. So it is meant to make it easier to navigate to specific dates. Then this area changes the view. For example, this view here we have is the week view, the work week, which is Monday to Friday. Maybe I want to view it as a month, or I want to view it as a day. You are able to change it from here. So how do you schedule a new meeting in Microsoft calendars? What you do is you navigate to the dates where you want to set the meeting. For instance, I may want to set the meeting on the 18th of this month. I double click on the day. I'm now on 18 April 2024. Then I go to new meeting. Right, this window then opens to, it is the person whom I want to invite to the meeting. It could be one person or it could be many people. So for demonstration purposes, let's just use one person. Maybe I want to invite J. Smith. I put their email address here. It's admin.user.ac.zw. Subject, maybe Independence visit. Independence visit. Right? Location, maybe you want to do the meeting in the council room. Then from what time? Probably I may want this to start at 8, maybe to 10 o'clock, and then I send the invitation to the person. So the invitation has been sent, and as you can see here, I'm on the day view on 18. It shows that I have a meeting on the 18th of April between 8 and 10. Right, the next thing that you may want to schedule is an appointment. Usually an appointment involves one person, which is yourself. So maybe I want to have an appointment on a different date. Let me choose on the 23rd. Subject, the appointment, maybe I have an interview there. Location, maybe Diamond Lecture Theatre. At what time? Maybe it's going to start at 10:30 to say 2 o'clock. If I want to invite any additional person to the appointment, I come here. I can then add another person who I want to invite to that appointment. Then after entering their email address here, I then click on send. Right. So now I have managed to populate my calendar with an appointment, with a meeting. If I go on a month view, it shows me the days and the times that I have appointments or oncoming appointments. For example, on the 15th here at 8 o'clock, I have ICDL starting. On the 18th, I have a meeting in the council room at 8 o'clock. On the 23rd, I have an interview at Diamond Lecture Theatre. On the 30th, I have a meeting with someone for the delivery of maize. So those are my meetings for the month of April. But then there may be a need for me to update a meeting or to cancel a meeting. What I'll simply do is to go to that meeting and double click the meeting to open it, right? So it gives me an option to delete that meeting or to change details, that is to update. I'm saying maybe the meeting wants it now to start at 12 o'clock and end at 6 o'clock in the evening, and then I click on send, right? So that's how you update a meeting, or you delete. Maybe then I say, okay, probably that meeting no longer exists. I just go and delete that meeting, and the meeting then disappears. Then another important aspect that we may want to look at is to cancel a meeting, because I have actually sent an invitation to people about a meeting. Now I want to cancel that meeting. I need to inform those people that the meeting has been cancelled. So what I do is I go and click on the meeting, like what I did here. Click on the meeting, then here go on cancel meeting. To John Smith, independent visit, then I send a cancellation to John Smith about the cancelled meeting. The meeting automatically disappears from my calendar. Okay. For you to update a meeting, you need to be the person who would have created that meeting. You cannot edit a meeting or update a meeting which you did not create. So if I had other meetings that have been invited by other people, they will be appearing on my calendar here. So that's the main items that you're expected to know on the calendar on Microsoft Outlook. So that's it for now. So the important thing with ICDL is that all the material is available in skills box. What you just need to do is to practice. You also have to make use of those diagnostic tests, because the diagnostic tests are actually showing you the concepts that will be covered in the exam, the concepts that you should be able to understand. So thank you so much for your time.